Good day, everyone. Again, I'm Miss Mae Judy Ann Bautista, and I will discuss the self as a social construct of understanding the self. So here is the chapter 2 of the understanding the self. Wherein in this chapter, after understanding ourself, our own behavior, our own personality, or an individual's behavior and personality, we are required to understand the society, the culture, the environment, and the community na meron tayo. Why? Because in this chapter, we will know how the community, how the society, how the environment, and how the other people can affect your behavior and personality as an individual. Minsan kasi akala natin tama yung ating ginagawa, pero minsan nagiging mali yun kasi ang akala natin tama yun dahil yun yung nakikita natin na ginagawa ng ibang tao. So how it may affect, or how the community, culture, society, and environment can affect your personality as an individual. Yun yung ating pag-aaralan, or that will be discussed in this chapter. First is Sir Edward B. Taylor. He is a founder of cultural anthropology, and he defined the culture as that complex whole which includes the knowledge, beliefs, arts, moral, law, customs, and any other capabilities and habits acquired by a human as a member of the society. So Sir Edward B. Taylor, he defined the culture as the different facets of the culture. And when we say the different facets of the culture, these are the knowledge, beliefs, arts, moral, law, and etc. So that is how Sir Edward B. Taylor defined the culture. So we have to move on and we have to discuss what is the difference between the anthropology and the sociology. So when we say anthropology, that is the inclusive study of the human race, its culture, its society, and its physical development. So it talks about the nature of an individual, or what is the function. Ano ba yung talagang original function as an individual or as a human? For example is, children's or babies and children's are being cared, protect, and loved by their parents. We already knew, or we already know, or we all know that one of the function of being a parent, as a mother, or as a father, one of your function is you have to take care of your child, you have to protect your child, also higit sa lahat, you have to love your child. Yung ipakita or iparamdam mo yung pagmamahal na dapat nilang maramdaman as their parents. Ano po? So yun yung tinatawag natin, or one of the example of the anthropology. That is one of the function of a human. Okay? And then sociology, or when it comes to sociology, that is the scientific study of the human life, social groups, whole societies, and the human world whose subject matter is own behavior as social beings in relationship with many other people. So it talks about, or ito na yung sinasabi natin na how your community, your society, environment na meron ka, or yung social groups na meron ka when it comes to your decision making, or how may it affect when it comes to your decision making, your behavior, or in your personality. So minsan kasi akala natin tama yung isang bagay na ating ginagawa. Bakit? Kasi yun yung nakikita natin from the other people. So minsan lalong-lalo na kung medyo musmus pa tayo sa edad, or hindi pa ganun ka-matured yung ating mind when it comes to the thing na meron yung nakikita natin sa sa ating surroundings, na akala natin kapag nakikita natin ginagawa ng isang tao, akala natin ay tama na yon. Ano po, for example, or para mas malinawan kayo, kanina, our example in anthropology is babies and children are being cared, protect, and loved by their parents. So in sociology, paano kaya nakaka-affect yung society, environment, community, or social groups na meron siya when it comes to their decision making or to their behavior and personality? So in some cases or in some researchers na-observe nila in their research that dumadami or tumataas yung cases when it comes to early pregnancy, mostly sa mga teenagers. So, one of the reason why uh, bakit tumataas yung bilang ng cases when it comes to teenage pregnancy is because of kasi yun yung nakikita nila from their environment, from their surroundings. Minsan one of the reason is because of the family problem, poverty, influenced by their friends or peer pressure, and then so on and so forth. So by that reason, nakikita natin that it's all about the community, it's all about the society, it's all about the environment meron ng isang tao, and also it's all about the social groups na meron siya, lalong-lalo na when it comes to family. So ang laki ng nagiging effect nun when it comes to the behavior and personality of an individual. Okay? So that's why doon natin nakikita, or yun yung sinasabi natin from the sociology, na it's uh, na meron or sobrang laki ng effect na meron ang isang society sa isang tao when it comes to their behavior and their personality. Na usually, kapag balik tayo dun sa ating example when it comes to teenage pregnancy, which is dahil sila ay teenage pa or hindi pa sila ganon ka-matured or hindi pa sila ready na mag-anak or maging parents, minsan dumadating sila sa punto ng pagpapalaglag or yung tinatawag natin na abortion, na yun na yung taliwas doon sa sinasabi sa anthropology. Why? Kasi when it comes to anthropology, that is the nature of of the human or an individual, which is kung ano yung function mo dapat as an individual, yun yung gagawin mo. So syempre ikaw as a teenage or nagkaroon ka ng anak, early pregnancy as a teenager, you're one of the parent na rin. Pero dahil hindi ka pa ready, hindi mo magagawa yung function na dapat mong gawin as a parents. Kaya mo siya pinapa-abort. So yung tinatawag natin or yun yung kapansin-pansin na there's a possible effect or sobrang laki ng effect ng society environment na meron ng isang tao when it comes to their decision making, to their personality and behavior, na hindi na natin minsan nagagawa yung dapat nating gawin or yung function natin as an individual. So you have to be careful, lalong-lalo na sa mga kababaihan or kahit hindi sa mga kababaihan. Ano po, some of the people, minsan hindi nila alam na mali na pala yung nagiging gawa nila because yun lang yung nakikita nila or yun yung nauuso. So you have to be careful for yourself na kapag alam nating mali na, katulad ng sinabi natin from the chapter 1, na we have to do what is right and avoid what is wrong para habang tayo ay nabubuhay as an individual, nagagawa natin yung function natin as a human. So that is the difference of the anthropology and the sociology. Next is about the components of the culture. And we have these two components of the culture. These are the material culture and the non-material culture. So when we say material culture, that is consists of human technology. All things that people make and use or the physical pieces that make a culture. So lahat ng nakikita natin, lahat ng nahahawakan natin, at lahat ng ginawa or ginagamit ng isang tao, that is called a material culture. For example, the cell phones, the buildings, the cars, the houses, the malls, and then so on and so forth. That is called or one of the example of the material culture. When we say non-material culture, that is abstract ideas and ways of thinking that make up a culture. They are intangible. So when we say they are intangibles, hindi natin hahawakan nor nakikita. For example, the beliefs, the traditions, the norms, and then so on and so forth. So here are some example of the components of culture, either material culture or non-material culture. We have here survival, education, transportation, communication, economy, technology, social structure, beliefs and traditions, rules and regulation, and arts and recreation. So these are some of the example of components of culture, again, either material culture or non-material culture, that we can see or we can use here in our life. First is about the survival. So when we say survival, that is our basic needs, like our foods, shelter, clothes, defense, or protection for your family and for yourself, and then so on and so forth. Next is about the education, which is so important nowadays, lalong-lalo na sa mga kabataan. And the education, that is an additional way of the people in the society to be more successful in the near future. And next is about the transportation that makes our life easier, no, lalong-lalo na when it comes to transporting the goods, or when it comes to survival, the foods, we it's easy to transfer the foods into one place to another place, o kaya naman it's easy to travel na, unlike dati na wala pang gaanong transpo, kaya yung mga tao noon talagang naglalakad lang papunta sa isang lugar kung ano yung kung saan sila tutungo na lugar. And then the communication, that is a spiral. Why? Kasi here in our society, here in our community, we can share what we want, and we can share ideas from the other, and we can get ideas. We can share idea to others, and we can share ideas from the others. So it's a spiral, sharing and getting from one another ideas. And then in economy, we can get what we want, and we can get what we need. Here in technology, katulad ng transportation, it makes our life easier than before. Sobrang techy na natin dito, sobrang napapadali na ang ating mga gawain. For example is sa paglalaba. 'Di ba dati ano lang tayo, talagang kusot-kusot, o kaya meron pa tayong ginagamit na palo-palo, something like that. Now, we can use washing machines na merong mga dryer, o kaya naman merong tinatawag na automatic, no? Na talagang wala kang gagawin. Sobrang napakagaan gamitin, kasi kahit naglalaba ka, pwede ka pang gumawa ng ibang bagay. For example, kung ikaw nagluluto habang naglalaba, 'di ba? Kasi automatic na 'yun eh. Kapag tumunog na lang, ibig sabihin nun, tapos na yung paglalaba mo. Okay? And then sa social structure, here in social structure, malalaman natin who will consider as important and not important. So by doing social experiment, malalaman natin paano ba tayo kino-consider ng isang tao as an individual. And then beliefs and tradition, we have different beliefs and tradition, and we have to respect each and everyone's beliefs and tradition. It gives us hope kasi in our life. For example, when it comes to Christianity, kapag ikaw ay nakakaramdam na ng nalulose hope ka na, by your beliefs and tradition, talagang nabuboost yung hopes mo, nagkakaroon ka ng pag-asa sa araw-araw. And then the rules and regulation, it gives our culture, our society, to maintain the order and the peace. And last is arts and recreation. Some of the people in the society express their feelings and emotions through arts and recreation. So again, these are some of the example of the components of culture, either material culture or non-material culture. And the last that we will discuss today is about the collectivism and individualism, wherein independent view of the self, that is called the individualism. So when we say individualism, it makes who you are, meron kang qualities na ipakita yung totoong ikaw or yung sarili mo sa ibang tao. Kung ano yung gusto mong patunayan, yun yung gagawin mo without help of the other. For example, or one of the example of an individualism person is yung mga working student na kahit sila ay nahirapan magtrabaho or pinagsasabay nila yung pagtatrabaho sa pag-aaral nila, gusto nilang mapatunayan na makakapagtapos sila ng pag-aaral kahit nagtatrabaho sila, kahit sinusuportahan lang nila yung sarili nila at yung kanilang pamilya. So that is an example of an individualism. And last is in the interdependent view of the self, which is called the collectivism person. So when we say collectivism person, that is nagbe-based yung kanyang decisions in their social groups. Nakadepende yung kanyang decision doon sa mangyayari or doon sa magiging effect ng decision niya sa kanyang social groups. For example is, in taking this course, kahit hindi niya gusto, kukunin niya. Why? Kasi yun yung gusto ng family niya. Yun yung happiness ng kanyang family and then so on and so forth. So, ganun siya mag-decide, no? Hindi lang para sa kanyang sarili, kundi iniisip niya rin kung ano yung magiging effect ng magiging decisions niya in their social groups, mostly sa kanyang family. So that is in chapter 2. That is about the self as a social construct. So thank you everyone. Hope you understand this topic. Goodbye and God bless.
For more ICCT College's video updates, please subscribe and click the notification button.